Good morning, students. Today's lesson is Love of Reading. The name of the story is Ben's Transformation. How much time do you spend in front of the television or the computer? What about facing a book? Reading is an exercise to develop the brain. However, excessive television or computer use can slow it down. Almost every day was the same. Ben and Curtis would return from school, go play soccer with their friends, kill their hunger by hitting the apples belonging to their neighbor, and later go to shoot at rats with a compressed air shotgun, BB gun. Next, they would go to their house and be glued to the television. Both knew by heart each channel's programming schedule. They were very familiar with the sound of shootings and horse hooves from old Western movies, the laughter from comedies, and the jingles from commercials. Lying on their mother's bed, the kids barely blinked for hours, mesmerized by the screen. Their father had died some time ago, and the boys, isolated in their routine, barely had any idea as to how hard their mother struggled to work as a maid at 3 different places in order to get by. The idea of reading a book did not cross their minds either. They only played and watched television. Then, one day, when their mother realized that Ben, who was in 5th grade, had been getting terrible grades. She was a simple but intelligent woman and sufficiently wise to understand that something was going wrong in regard to her sons. She had noticed that there were many books in the homes in which she worked. One day when she got home, she turned off the television and immediately told them, "I want my children to make something of themselves in life." Ben and Curtis, engrossed in those dynamic and colorful images, were greatly shocked and wide-eyed while their mother continued, "You will read 2 books a week." "What?" The children were stunned. "Read? And there is more. I want a summary of what you read." "But Mom, that's unfair," Ben complained. "All children my age watch television. Get real! Reading is not fun." Both complained, but they did not get anywhere. Their mother was serious. Then they remembered that there were no books in the house with the exception of the Bible, and they thought their mother would discard the idea. But she had it all planned. She would take the children to the books. Therefore, a short while later, there was Sonia taking her 2 inconsolable sons to the Detroit Public Library in the United States. Ben, with a grim gesture, entered the section of children's books. He liked animals very much, and when he found some volumes about animals, he decided to flip through the pages. The first book was about beavers, their type of habitat, and how they build their dams. His facial expression changed, and for the first time, Ben embarked on an extraordinary adventure. He walked into a cold river in the forest where the beavers built their habitats. He was delighted. It was a very different experience from the one he had in front of the television set. Soon after, Ben anxiously waited for the time to go to the library, his new world. He discovered dinosaurs and learned about the difference between reptiles and mammals. And with the passage of time, he understood that reading was very pleasant. Furthermore, through reading, he was able to retain more information than spending hours in front of the TV. Ben began reading about plants and rocks. He walked close to the train tracks, filling a box with rocks. He would then take them home to identify each with the aid of a geology book. Many worlds existed between the covers of those books. Both brothers no longer waited for their mother to take them to the library. They would take a shortcut and would go down a hill to get quicker access to the books. Ben acquired knowledge, and teachers noticed. As for the television, their mother allowed them to watch for a couple of hours a week. But the boys discovered that books were far more interesting than television. Years later, Ben and Curtis found out that their mother was illiterate and could not read summaries they had made for her. However, she also tried to learn how to read and studied until she obtained a degree in primary education. Curtis became an engineer. And Ben Carson went from being a poor and indifferent student to becoming a world-renowned doctor. As director of the Department of Pediatric Neurosurgery at Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore, United States. He traveled around the world teaching and performing delicate surgical procedures. He became famous for separating Siamese twins, an operation that only a few Siamese had survived before. Ben Carson is the author of several books, among them Gifted Hands, which led to a movie by the same name, that helped many people to overcome their adversities. And do you know when it all started? When his mother, Mrs. Sonia, turned off the television set and took them to a library. Isn't it interesting how reading can transform individuals? That's it for today, students. Hope you enjoyed the story and learned its moral. God bless. Have a great day.